So, again, parrying or backstabbing these guys is absolutely the way to go. You want to keep as much of your Estus as you can, which is why I usually use life gems. If I know I'm going into a boss, then I just try to hang on to all of the flasks. Just because mistakes happen. Alright, and now we're ready to do Velstadt. There aren't any items in this area, are there? No, okay. Now, I think he has high resistance to lightning and dark. I don't know if he does, though. We're just gonna try to poison him. Okay. So this is actually a relatively easy fight. The only reason it can be difficult is because he has very wide sweeping attacks. So it's pretty easy to get hit by something. And of course he does charge. But yeah, it's pretty easy to get hit by something even though you might think you're out of range. After you get him about a third of the way down, he will at some point decide to buff himself, and the fight enters phase 2. This is the buff right here. In many cases, whether or not you beat him depends on how low you get him before he buffs. So, it's always a good idea to do as much damage and really push the aggression on him until he buffs, and then you can play more defensively. If you attack behind him, he does have a sweep attack which will target behind himself, so that's not always the best thing to do because it is a very quick attack, and if you're not conserving your stamina, then you're gonna get hit by it. But beyond that, if during your fight Agdane dies, the best thing to do is just run away from Velstadt and try to bait him into doing his casting spell, and once he starts doing the animation for it, just run behind him and hit him. And you can just keep doing that, and that's pretty much the easiest way to do his fight once he buffs. So now that we have the King Ring, we can go to the other areas of the game. There's 3 King Gates. And I mean, one of them pretty much is the end of the game, but the other 2 are necessary to go down. So we'll be doing that shortly. Right now I want to talk to Agdane again, because after you kill Velstadt, he'll give you his items. There we go.
Is that a shop? Here to see. However.
Okay. Let's do that. So the only reason I'm pumping points into Vitality is just because I want to get my equipment load lower. And you see now she has her full inventory of items. The only thing that changes is after you beat the game, she'll actually get an unlimited supply of Titanite chunks. But beyond that, what she has there is what she will have until you go into New Game Plus. So I was going to do that, but I decided I should go ahead and talk to Tark again, since I didn't do that after I killed that the Scorpion ass. So we'll go talk to him and get the second dragon ring. There we go. And now, since we're running around, I'm gonna go ahead and just let myself get cursed. And I'm doing this so I can go hollow and enter that undead area at the Shrine of Amana. Okay. So this area, like I said before, it has the Manslayer, which is a poison katana. And I know there's something else here as well, but I can't remember it. There's another Milfinito. Pretty sure she'll give us some stuff, so go ahead and exhaust her dialogue.
Do you take? This is all.
Okay, and I believe there's 2 chests, one on either side. Huh. Well, I know there's a chest over here anyway. Is there one behind it? Nope. Huh. Let me check this side again. Ah. It's the bonfire aesthetic. And since we're running around, let's go free this Milfinito thing by using the key to the embedded. This part is just so gruesome. Whoever thought of that, man. Alright, she gives us a pretty useless ring. All it does is, if you're hollow and you put the ring on, then you look like you're human. That's it. And with that out of the way, we'll go ahead and continue. Now, I don't think I've talked to Vengarl again, so I'm just gonna do that real quick. Because I know he'll open his inventory, and there will be a few extra items that he'll sell, which are his swords and his shield. His swords aren't that bad, and they kind of look cool. The shield's decent if you're using a shield to block, but I don't really do that, so I don't really use his shield. Alright, and before the King Gate, there is a item, which is the red Tearstone ring, which is right here. So technically you have access to that item once you use the Fragrant Branch on the Pyromancy Trainer and unlock this area. But it's not a particularly good thing to be using unless you absolutely know what you're doing. Because pretty much the strategy for it is to get yourself down to the point where the ring is active, which is when you have like 1/10 of your health, something like that. And then you'll go into a boss fight, and as long as you know the dodge patterns for the boss fight and everything, then you can just destroy the boss. You'll do so much damage to it due to the red Tearstone ring. But beyond that, it's not really something worth messing around with. And here's Lucatiel. Since we've fully exhausted her dialogue and talked to her everywhere, she's here. And now we can finish up her quest, which is unfortunately just getting her stuff. I really wish there was a tie-in, since she's looking for her brother the entire time, and we do find him. Right here, actually. But in typical Dark Souls fashion, the story isn't completed. So we have to decide what happens in our minds, which is probably just that she goes hollow and she never fulfills her quest, which is very sad. This is the last mimic in the game, I believe. Just gonna grab all the items here. This is a, I guess it's a pretty cool zone. There are enemies here that you can farm petrified dragon bones off of, although the zone directly after it is probably the best place to do that, since you're just killing bugs for the large part. You're not killing actual people, but if for whatever reason you want to kill actual people, then feel free. Not the best AI. So this thing is pretty cool. Depending on which side you're on, like right here, will determine where it launches itself. So you see it launched itself to the right because I was towards the right, and it didn't destroy the carriage over there, which is always nice because that just has a basilisk in it, which I don't really feel like killing. I'm pretty sure I just one-shot it at this point, but it's just another thing that I don't want to deal with. Royal Sorcerer Novlan is downstairs, and he's imprisoned by a magic field thing. And there's a lever that we can use to free him, but we're not going to do that. We'll come back when we have all of the things we need, and we'll go ahead and talk to him, get all of his spells, and unlock him as a vendor. And that's what we're going to keep him as, because I don't want to get invaded by him. So these guys, when they actually become available to fight, and what I mean is when they come through the mirror, they're pretty much immune for a while, and then you'll notice they kind of like twitch after they've done their animation of coming through the mirror, and that's when you can actually attack them, and that's when you can backstab them. If we wanted to use a fragrant branch up there, we could use it on that hippo and kill it. There's really not that much of a point though, because we can just run up the stairs. And as far as I know, the hippo doesn't drop any special loot, so it's just kind of pointless. We'll go ahead and kill this basilisk. He can drop a Dragon Sage hood, which is pretty cool. These upcoming enemies have a I don't even know what it's called. It's like a Dragon Knight hood or something like that. But the Sage one has like this white hair coming down it, and it's a blue orb instead of a orangish one, so it's pretty cool. All that does, the Ferrous Lockstone there, is just light it up. It's completely optional. It really has no impact on how the this level works. There's a bonfire right there, which is very handy. And this right here is more of the equipment destruction stuff, and there's two of these dogs as well. So we're gonna go ahead and poison them, and we're gonna kill them. You actually absolutely don't need to. You can just run past them while you're getting all the items. But I figure I'll just get them out of the way. So I don't think poisoning them will completely kill them. So I'm just gonna go ahead and shoot them with the dark arrows as well. There we go. And just for aesthetic purposes, we're gonna put the dark arrow first. So we got the key to Aldea's, which you absolutely don't need. It's just it's sort of convenient because it'll help you sneak past a few enemies. Let's go ahead and put our gear back on. How does that look? I don't really like it. I wish I went ahead and bought the bandit gloves. Whatever. Alright, so behind these paintings, there are these enemies. And these are the ones that they have like the dragon knight or whatever it is hood on, and they can drop petrified dragon bones. So if you want to kill stuff to farm those, then these are your guys. They also can throw the witching urns, I think they are, at you. So that's always an opportune time to just run up and backstab them. Get that barrel out of the way. And again with the rings, I always forget to put them back on. So if you do this, you actually won't aggro this hippo, which is kind of cool. So you get to sneak past one of them. And the other one comes through this wall once you get close to it. So I always loot the item and then run back. And now we can do the boss. This boss is pretty simple, and we're going to fight more of them later on. The easiest thing to do is to just stay in front of its feet, and that'll pretty much make sure it does the stomp attacks, and you won't have to deal with it flying into the air too much. I was hoping I could get through the fight without it flying up. There goes again. So he can do fire attacks, obviously, since he's a dragon. One of them is that, which covers, I don't know, maybe half of the arena. So you gotta run pretty far back, make sure you don't get hit by it. Another one's just a fireball, and then he'll do a fire attack that's just in a straight line. So they're all pretty simple to dodge. Definitely not a difficult fight. You just gotta, if you want to do it quickly anyway, you gotta just sit on his toes and hopefully he won't go into the air. Okay, so this is the second to last new zone in the game.
Bear, love, one, bear, the eight, take.
As far as zones that actually have bonfires are concerned. gonna go ahead and equip the feather, just because all that is it's essentially a homeward bone that has infinite uses. And I know from this point on, at least for a little bit, I'm going to be using it a lot. So that's the only reason I equipped it, just to save a little time. There is an item over here that we didn't get, so I'm gonna go ahead and get it now. This guy can't actually break himself out of the cage, but the hippo will break the cage if you aggro it. Dragon Acolyte, okay. So let's go ahead and get the hippo, because we're gonna need him. Kill this guy. That enemy that I just killed actually has some pretty cool drops. It can do a chaos shield, which you can get to, it's either 95 or 100% dark resistance if you have it infused with dark, which is pretty cool. And I think he drops a chaos rapier or something like that. Chaos sword of some sort. So we used the hippo to break down that door since we couldn't do it ourselves. And now the item in there is ours. Okay.
You. What?
And since she has a limited supply of these special ones, I'm just gonna go ahead and get the Petrified Dragon Bones and the Twinkling Titanite. Always want to make sure you buy those out before you go into a New Game Plus, just in case you need them, just in case you decide you want to switch your armor up or your weapon or anything like that. It's always good to have a stack of those. And this is a really cool zone. There's a bunch of dragons, a bunch of Titanite bugs. There's some zip lines that we can use. It's definitely got a lot going on. See some of the bugs are running away. Unfortunately, I'm getting within their aggro radius while I'm killing this dragon. So we're gonna have to make a couple of runs after we clear this place to go ahead and get all the bugs that we missed. Hopefully we'll do it in one, but the dragons can drop a couple things. They can do Petrified Dragon Bones, they can do Twinkling Titanite. I know they can drop at least one Pyromancy. They might be able to drop more. And unfortunately this time it dropped nothing.